Hi guys, welcome back to another Counterside video. Today I'm going to combine both the dangerclose bosses in one guide since they both can be dealt with rather straightforward strategies this season. So make sure to stick around to the end. Let's get into it. Let's start off with Moderator Type A. Just a quick recap, Moderator Type A is basically a defender class monster with a 3-phase boss battle. The first phase ends at a DPS check between 2 minutes 20 seconds to 2 minutes 18 seconds, and the second phase ends at the depletion of the second HP bar or by 1 minute and 03 seconds left. During the final phase, the boss will just walk up and start hitting your ship. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about how to defeat or score better on the boss. To make sure Moderator Type A doesn't enrage and you just lose the game instantly, you only need to do the following. You have to make sure that there's always a unit in melee range of the boss every 8 seconds. And the easiest way to do that is to use Shinja with 50% skill haste and above. If you have lower skill haste than that, don't worry, pair up with Harim and that will solve the issue. The remaining of your team should include Seoyun and other ranger DPS. I'd highly recommend Kim Sobin, Haeyun, Admin Rifleman, and Rosaria. For the remaining slots, you can use supporters like Roy, Chifuyu, Doma, or SR Hilde. And the best ship to use is definitely Enterprise or Kami Izumi for this boss fight. Before we jump into it, we need to first set our expectations for the boss. Are you able to kill it, or are we aiming to score as high as we can knowing that we cannot kill the boss? A general way to know that is if you can get past the first DPS check at around 2 minutes 20 seconds without activating the ultimate skills of your team. If you can, then it's possible to kill the boss before the timer hits 0. If not, let's aim to score as much as we can because there's a high chance we will not be able to keep most of our units alive without redeploying in the second phase. How we begin the first phase remains the same. The safest opener for the boss on the hardest difficulty would be Shinja and Harim, following up with Kim Sobin. You are free to deploy whichever unit you want next, but you want to deploy Seoyun before the boss's DPS check begins. Her attack buff really helps a lot. Try not to use any ultimate skills to get past this DPS check as you will need it for the second phase. If you need the ultimate spam to get past the DPS check, it is fine as well, but it'll be very hard to beat the boss later on. Once the boss walks to the middle, wait and delay your frontliner, which could be Haeyun, any of your strikers or defenders, if you're using any of them, until the boss's enraged skill check is around 75%. Once you drop the front line to reset the enraged check, you'll want to trigger all your ultimate skills to iframe through the boss's AoE damage, which actually pushes your team back to its front side. After that happens, redeploy Shinja at the front if she is dead together with Harim and any other DPS that were killed by the boss's AoE you previously iframed through, and you'll approach the final phase fairly quickly. Past this point is all about your DPS output. If your units and gears are ready, you should be able to kill the boss. If you fail and tried many times over, your gears are probably not ready to kill the boss just yet. And that's it for Moderator Type A. As usual, if you like what you see or find this helpful, give the video a like and hit subscribe button as it helps support the channel. I also stream on Twitch on Mondays and Fridays at 3 PM GMT plus 8 if you'd like to join me piloting viewer accounts for dangerclose, account assessments, and other shenanigans. Let's begin the next segment by briefly recapping about Moderator Type B. Similar to the other Moderator boss, it is a ranger class monster with a 3-phase boss battle. These phases are the exact same as the Moderator Type A boss. The only difference is that in its final phase, it doesn't march towards your ship, but rather continuously shoots the unit furthest away from the boss, all while triggering the DPS check continuously until it or your ship dies. To beat this boss, things are a little bit trickier but definitely simpler compared to the previous season. You want to adjust your deployment sequence and timing to keep Roy, Chifuyu, and Terminator alive for as long as you can, while leaving Jane Doe or Awakened Yubina to deal the majority of the damage. If you can set this up by the first DPS check, you will probably have no problem reaching the final phase. A few tips you can try to keep the tree alive is by throwing bodies ahead of them so the time they are exposed to the boss hits are less, but sufficient enough for their ultimate skills to charge. Admin Sword Fighter, Twins, and SR Hilde are great choices you may consider. When you reach the final phase, make sure to have Lin Xian's ultimate saved up. Drop your units on the boss or as close to it as possible while deploying the other units as far away from the boss as you can. This protects the main DPS like Jade Do, Awakened Yumina from getting hit by the boss. Your gears will determine if the fight will end with either killing the boss or the boss kills you. I'd highly recommend having Shifuyu, Roy, and Terminator for this fight, Styuyun and Shinja for buffs, and Jane Do and/or Awakened Yumina for DPS. The best ship to use will undoubtedly be New Detroit. The strategy for Type B this time around is quite straightforward as the outcome is very much dependent on the condition of your gears and character levels. If you need help with your Danger Close boss, feel free to drop by my stream and I'll help answer any questions you may have to help you with your run. Once again, I hope this guide was able to help even just a bit in your Danger Close runs. Until the next video, game on!